What's going on, guys? Today we are back with another video. Today we're going to be doing a little review of the Ferris Z3x. Got it a couple weeks ago, finally put a few hours on it. Gonna give my rundown, overview, opinion on it. It's my first stand-on mower. Just some positives and negatives of it so far, how I feel about the stand-on life, and just overall what I like about it, what I don't like about it. If you like today's video, if you like the content, like the video. Plan on doing more Ferris content, Skag Turf Tiger content, 2nd gen Ram content, C5 Corvette content. So if you like any of those things, please like and subscribe. So I've only ever ran sit-ons, only ever really ran Turf Tiger. One of my clients has a Ferris IS 2000, I believe it is. It's got the 30 horse Vanguard. This has the 37 horse Vanguard. Turf Tiger has a 35 Vanguard. Always been a Skag fan, always had great luck with Skags, but found a deal on a demo Z3 and decided to see what it was all about, see how it was. But so far, what I like about it. On the IS 2000 I was talking about, I'm not a big fan of the suspension, but on the stand-on life, I think it really helps. It seems to do really well without scalping, and what I guess really didn't think about on the stand-up life is the inability to float the deck, because you're always standing up, you always got both hands on the controls. And if you need to, you know, you can't float the deck over something and keep driving. So that is I guess to me, a really big drawback of the stand-up life. Going around trees, going over manhole covers. You got roots that you obviously can't hit. You got to be a lot more aware of your surroundings, I guess, and what you can and can't run over. Whereas if I need to run over something, I can float the deck up for a second, no big deal, it's all good to go. But the articulating deck on the Ferris is really nice in that aspect. There's a lot of things I feel like it allows you to go over that without it you wouldn't be able to go over. Especially if you're doing ditches, doing ditches and stuff. Seems to do really well in them. Seems to not scalp. Seems to really save you on scalping. Another like is this seat bolstering. Holds you well. Seems to be really comfortable. I like when I'm riding on a hill, you know, you can kind of lay against it and keep your body against it, or hold you up better, versus some of the others didn't have that. A big thing that I really like, it already came in handy once as I already got stuck, is being able to unlock the hydros right there. Really save some time when needed. I mean, it takes 2 seconds to unlock them, whereas on my Turf Tiger, you gotta get to unhook the bolt or unscrew the bolt, and it just takes a little more time and screw it back in. Not a big deal, but you gotta have the tools on you, where this takes literally 5 seconds. Also, really like the covers. Having open on the side seems to really keep grass from piling up on the deck so far. Versus, I mean, you can see grass piles up. It's not a big deal to blow it off, but having it open on the side seems to really keep it cleared out of the deck a whole lot better. I mean, overall, solid machine. Obviously, Ferris makes top-notch mowers when you're talking about that kind of money. Obviously, gonna be getting a pretty solid product overall. 37 Vanguard, great motor. Since this is my first Ferris, it's the only thing I've ever had with the oil guard. A little bit scary, you know, used to 100 hour oil changes versus 500. So it's a little, you know, just the thought of it's a little sketchy, but haven't really heard any complaints about it, any issues. So hopefully it doesn't run into any issues. Now to the complaints. The ICD deck. I don't think it's a bad deck. I don't think it's personally on the level of the Skag Velocity deck. I mean, it's cut, stripe, it's okay, it's fine. But overall, I think its cut quality is a step lower than the Velocity deck. I think its ability to chop up and throw grass is a step below the Velocity deck, and just its overall stripe ability, if that's a word. I mean, it's fine. I don't think any of my clients would ever, I mean, probably wouldn't even notice a difference really. But I've had a couple things I've already had to double cut because it just didn't seem like it chopped up the grass and threw it as well as the Velocity. So just a little something I gotta get used to. It's kind of really the main thing I haven't been a huge fan of. With the articulating deck, it seems like the stand-up life is a lot more, I don't want to say work, but just being standing, I feel like you're constantly, since you got both hands on it and you're leaning against it, there's a lot more, you gotta be a lot more focused. And with the suspension, I feel like it articulates with the ground, so you're kind of constantly moving all over the place. It's a lot, to me it's a whole lot harder to just take off across the field and run a straight line with this mower than with that mower. I think you could have no or very little time on a mower and you could hop on a Turf Tiger and mow some pretty straight lines versus the stand-on. The steering is a lot heavier and that mower is a lot heavier. I think is a big thing that keeps makes it a lot easier to run straight lines on a Turf Tiger. Also, I wish these handles were a lot thicker. I think they were the thinnest of, I spun around on a V-Ride and a right ZK, and I think these had the smallest handles, and just the touch of them, the Ferris seemed the most sensitive steering overall of the stand-ons that I was on. Overall, also not really a big thing. I wish the gas gauge was over on the side, so if I was getting gas I wouldn't have to hop up on the trailer and look at it. Not a big huge thing at all. I mean, you can't really, that's just kind of being nitpicky. Other than that, pretty happy so far. A lot of people say that the Z3 rides hills really good. I'm not sure if that is, it rides hills well for a stand-on, or they think it rides hills well for a mower in general. But what I've seen so far is the Z3 does not remotely hold a hill as well as the Turf Tiger. I've already slid down a couple, you can see I already got stuck, but slid down a couple backyards, a couple hillsides that I've never once slid down in that, and there's a couple yards that I won't even touch with the Ferris because of basically what's already happened with it so far. Now, like I said, this is my first stand-on. I've only put 20 or 30 hours on it so far, just a couple weeks, so still kind of getting used to it, but just so far it doesn't seem like it has the ability to hold the hills near as well as a sit-on mower, or especially this Turf Tiger that I'm used to. Couple last things that are nice that I like about it so far is I haven't actually even messed with it yet, but the ability to change I believe it's the dampness of the shock, make it a little bouncier or harder suspension. Also really like the 11-gallon gas tank. It's just me by myself. I got about 40 yards or so. I can usually do about 2.5 days without filling up, which is great. Turf Tiger I think holds 9 maybe, and it's right on the edge of getting 2 days, so I usually just fill it up every day. So that saves a nice little chunk of time. Overall, stand-up life is noticeably, I'm not gonna say noticeably, but definitely a bit quicker, especially if you got yards that you gotta hop on and off of. Just being able to step off of them real quick, turn the blades off, instead of even, I mean, you don't even have to, it'll stay running with the brake off with you not on it. So several seconds here and there on that. I do feel like I can run another 1 to 2 mile an hour faster over most yards with the stand on versus the sit down Turf Tiger. So far, what I have time, I mean, I haven't put a stopwatch to it, but what I've been seeing is about a 5 to 10 minute, the Ferris is about 5 to 10 minutes quicker than the Turf Tiger per hour. Mainly just because I feel like I can generally run a little bit faster in this. Like I said earlier, I don't think the Ferris stripes as well as the Skag. I've slowed down a little bit to what I thought was a similar speed as the Turf Tiger, and it really didn't help the cut quality any. This is, I have a lot of yards that it's leaving a third stripe in the middle or just offset of the stripe. Not every yard, but a lot of yards is what I'm seeing, and it seems to be kind of a common issue. So I don't know, it might just be something I have to live with, but definitely so far a little bit quicker. When I first got this, the first couple days, my lower back was on absolute fire. I thought I'd made the worst mistake of my life because I got several buddies running stand-ons and told me how great it was. But after that, I guess my back got used to it. And I gotta say, I do feel a little more fresh at the end of the day, an 8-hour day. I have yards ranging from under a ½ acre to probably 5 or 6 acres. My biggest yard takes about 2 hours of stand-on time, and I was a little nervous about using it on it, but at the end of it, it honestly wasn't too bad at all. Definitely better than I thought it was going to be. I threw on the quick shoot. Probably do a little review or a little comparison between the quick shoot and the advanced shoot that I got on the Turf Tiger in a video to come. Really happy with the quick shoot so far. Really happy with the stand-on life so far. I think the Ferris weighs right around 1,000 pounds. Turf Tiger weighs right around 1,500 pounds. Just that weight seems like you can spin around a little bit faster without tearing up the grass. And it's also, I didn't put them quite side by side, but you can kind of tell. I'm not sure exactly what it is, but the Ferris is several inches shorter. I wouldn't be surprised if it was upwards of a foot shorter. So getting in tight spaces on smaller ½ acre yards that got little turnarounds or getting around trees, definitely the main positive of the stand-on to me so far. The only thing you really got to be worried about is, especially if you're wearing a hat, stand up, going under trees, not paying attention, take your head right off. I've seen a couple people talk about loading into an enclosed trailer, not paying attention, taking their head off. I'm about 6'2", 6'3", and pulling into my garage, I have to duck a little bit or else I'll hit my head on it. So just a little something you gotta be aware of. But oh, the very last thing, Ferris was the only one that has the adjustable, which honestly at first I thought it was great because the first week I was getting used to it, I could shift around. I have smaller hands, so on smaller yards I generally have it on the third setting. It's a little more comfortable, but bigger wide open yards, it's fine on the highest setting. It's really the last positive, I guess. To be completely honest, I was gonna stick with Skag. I wanted a V-Ride. The local Skag dealer I've had some issues with, and the local Ferris dealer has always been really good. The V-Ride 6137, the local dealer wanted over 11 for it, and I found a demo Ferris, the Z3 with the 37. I got it for 89 out the door, and it had 35 hours on it. It's a 2020, so decided it was worth $2 grand plus to roll with the Ferris and see how I liked it. But anyways, if you like the video, please hit the subscribe button, and like I said, there'll be more videos to come. I plan on getting some good videos comparing the Ferris to the Turf Tiger on hills, its ability to ride hills, stripe ability, doing some comparisons on actual yards, on speed runs, basically, just to get really just put a stopwatch to it and see really just if what I'm seeing and feeling is true on the stand-on being several minutes faster. But thanks for watching.